The king is here. We have now a new king of FPS, and with that comes the spotlight. What is in the dark shall come to the light. Things that I and vets have normally seen and we have witnessed before in previous battlefields, it's just being exposed more because there's more people pointing their fingers saying, boo this man. But that's just how it is. This is not a red sect video, so for you people that want to be entertained and still stick around in your red sect, thank you. But this is all about the original game and new direction. Let's go.
Pimps and players! Pimps and players!
Welcome to Gameplay, the Greensway.
Like I said in previous videos, it's a tradition that when Battlefield launches, there's a whole bunch of updates, fixes to sit here and optimize everything, down to the aim, vehicle, spawn time, tick rates, all that stuff. It's a tradition, but when it comes to tradition, there's some things that you don't want to change. And if you look into it, Battlefield's map, Season 1 allows you to see a glimpse of what they are already doing. If you didn't already understand it from the beginning launch maps, when it comes to the way it is designed, the way it plays out, the way you think about scenarios when you're on the ground or when you're in the air or in a tank, traditional Battlefield maps are extremely huge. They're extremely big. They normally have a certain color palette, the way it feels. Either it's going to be grimy, bright, whatever the case may be. When it comes to Eastwood, hey, it is very, very beautiful to look at. It looks like somebody just was going to have a good day teeing it up on some tea time, and then all of a sudden, chaos abrupt. And as Battlefield, it gives you traditional look of chaos and destruction. And then it's this. A sudden abrupt feeling of, hey, man, you know what? The time here, it really didn't last too long. Yeah, the looks of it, it feels good. Played different rounds. When it came to Conquest, normally that's a vet's choice game mode, but hey, I don't know what's going on with all these bots, but that's another conversation. But when it comes to Eastwood, yeah, it looks good. A lot of people agree that this map should have came out with the original launch of the game. It was around that people was already playing it. If you was a special person that got to go to that event that happened, it was playable. They was playing it, and you see it now in some contents. Streamers that it was there. They got clips of it, whatever, right? So as we sit here and the weekend goes and I get to play it, I'm realizing I didn't even play it on Conquest because, like I said, too many bots, different story. But I instantly went to the new mode that everybody likes, escalation. It instantly throws me in and it's ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm playing and I'm looking around just like y'all. It's oh shit, look at that. Ooh, golf carts, this, that, and the third. Feels good. But then it's instant. You realize like that just goes away because it is small. It looks big. It feels like it would be a big map to explore around, but it's not. The architect or the design of this map is extremely small. The objectives are on top of each other, which ruins things. And the reason why I'm having this conversation is because this map has been around before the game even launched and it was playable, and yet DICE is going to have to go back and rearrange it if they choose to. They might not actually change anything, but at least in escalation, the objective, there's 3 objectives dead on top of each other where it's like the rest of this map that you see is so beautiful, it's pointless. There's no one there. It's not even a big space. Even when it comes down to your spawn area, for you pilots out there, I feel your struggle. I've seen helicopters really, you're just hovering around the whole main area in the middle, and it's just like a TDM match. It's fun to watch the destruction and the way it flows, but somewhat. When you sit back and actually observe how the game is being played, like most vets do, because then we take our vantage points and take our tactical positions because we're not TDM deaf, like we just grab our gun and just spawn near the nearest fight. If you sit back and look and observe the way the fight is, everything is dead in the middle. Every little point that's outside, it's pointless, and it's actually still kind of close to the middle. There are so many tanks going on, vehicles that spawn instantly. I know in the patch notes they said that they was working on some spawns of tanks and vehicles on the other maps, but now you're going to have to sit here and do it again, even on this one, because it just spawns non-stop. And the tanks have nowhere to go because everyone is stuck on these main 3 objectives in escalation. If you hold those, that's it. You lose. I mean, the other team loses. So all of this that you see in this map, it's actually useless. There's nothing there. It's flat environment. It just throws it off that, yeah, this map looks good. It sounds good on paper the way they described it, but technically it's really just another small map. Kind of like how they take our traditional maps that we did have that they shrunk down. Like even this new map, like, all right, for instance, naval. I have a feeling this is how Neighbor is going to be. It's going to be shrunken down. Now, the devs even said that themselves that they decided not to go the traditional route because they want to keep engagement. Yeah, I get that, because not big maps, us vets, well, some of us want extremely big maps. But that is also a problem too, because if there is a whole bunch of running and there's no cover, there's no nothing, that kind of sucks. You get what we got in Battlefield 2042. It's a bunch of running and no action, which forces people to be in the middle. But in this case, they just said, hey, everything's in the middle because the objective is there. What is the point of all this beauty and landscape? There's nothing there. There's no fights being there. Nothing. Everything is forced in the middle. A balance is something that is well needed in the Battlefield, even in the previous one and now, but it seems like now they rather go small because it keeps the attention of the people who just want to run and gun like it's TDM, but don't want to play TDM, because TDM is just taking a small section of a map. It might not even be their favorite. So with that being said, the structure and map designs need to really be looked at. When it comes to patches and the tick rates and vehicles, like the choppers, for instance, the choppers, I watched choppers just get annihilated, but then they spawn instantly. You're instantly getting shot as soon as you get into your vehicles. You're spawn as a ground soldier, and I'm already getting plucked off because there's a truck or a tank with a gunner on it already shooting at my spawn. There's no cover, there's no nothing. The blue zone on the other maps, it's huge. It's like, man, I could pretty much snipe in my spawn area. On this map is not like that at all. I'm getting sniped in my spawn. There's points where tanks just go in the middle of the resort, driving their vehicles all inside of the building. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's Battlefield. But when I realized that moving outside of the resort was pointless, everyone just, you could just cluster here and there's all your action. What is the point of these maps that look so good if they're useless? You only have one designated area to be in. Map design is very important to keep longevity in Battlefield, to keep people wanting to come back and play over and over and over. I even played this game mode in Rush, Breakthrough. Breakthrough feels a little bit better, but not really. The placements of where the objective is, like in Rush, it's in the parking lot and it's just openness. You could just throw a whole bunch of smoke or whatever, but it's literally just openness. But I don't want to make it seem like it doesn't have spots for cover, because when you play Escalation, it does. There's cover spots. There really is. You know what I'm saying? But it just feels like the objective need to move. The other areas outside of the resort needs to have something there. But then I get it's a little difficult. It's a golf course. It's supposed to be an open field, but it's no reason to go in the open field. There's no reason to go into the open field. There's nothing there. There's no objective there. There's no cover there. There's no nothing there. Not even tanks are sitting out there. Not even snipers, because snipers can't see anything because there's no one there. So there's a whole big, beautiful map, or mid-sized, small map. It's hard to define it. You know, it looks big on paper. You get in the game, it feels mid. But then when you really get to observing the play style and the routes that everyone's taking, it's really small. It's all three. Hey, it is what it is. I'm just calling it how it is. But these type of map designs, I see why some of the vets was worried. It was like, hey, they need to be bigger, but always bigger is not always better, because we got Battlefield 2042, which kind of sucked. It was absolutely nothing. They just threw the same objects there and say, here's your cover. It was just boxes everywhere. There needs to be better design, because if you want to keep people playing the main game, which is still fun as hell, I still to this day believe the main game is better than Red Sack, but Red Sack ain't nothing to slack on. The design has to be better, and it makes me worried, because if you're taking classic maps like Naval that we've been rumored to get, you're just going to shrink the shit out of it. Then the reminiscent of this map won't be the same, and that's what you're trying to hit, right? Because what's the point in bringing old maps in? What is the point if you're just going to shrink it down to hell and it just doesn't feel the same? We don't get the same effect at all. It just feels like this was meant for TDM and TDM only. Let me know y'all thoughts on how y'all feel about map designs. Are you one of the people that like that they are shrinking the shit out of this and it feels this way? Or are you a vet that was on Riddick post saying, hey, we need bigger, but then you didn't give really your input? You just feel like it needs to be bigger. But like I said, bigger ain't always better. We got to come in the middle. I like that they're trying to keep the flow going in the game, but at the same time, you got to give us something else besides just clusterfuck, because that's what Eastwood feels like, a clusterfuck. And I didn't even have to play long to realize it, because the coloring and the glamour of it wore off extremely fast. I'd still have fun. That's one thing. But yeah, just something feels off. Let me know what you think that off feeling is. This is your boy Green, and I'm out. Be easy.